Hello and welcome, my name is ProRogueBear, but you can call me Ben. Today we're going to look at the different ways you can quickly level your classes in Final Fantasy XIV from level 80 to 90. So before we jump in, please consider hitting that subscribe button, drop a like and let me know in the comments below what your favorite area is in Endwalker and why, just for a bit of fun. You can also follow me over on Twitch at twitch.tv/ProRogueBear, and you can join our Discord as well if you would like. Links will be in the description below. With that all out of the way, let's get right into it. So there are a few different methods. Some work better early 80s and others start to make more sense from around 85 plus. I may do a leveling 1 to 80 at some point, but this is purely for Endwalker, so please be aware there will be spoilers in terms of locations and so on. So if you're not done yet and that's important to you, you have been warned. Let's start with doing your daily roulettes. These reset in the afternoon at 3 PM GMT every day. You then have 24 hours to do these roulettes, which throw you into random dungeons or trials based on the roulette itself, and they usually carry extra bonus XP, tomes, and gil. These can be great to do each time you're logged in for a good boost of XP, as well as seeing some content you may not have seen in a while. In my opinion, the best free roulettes for leveling are the leveling roulette, obviously, the alliance raid roulette, and the frontline PvP roulette. Main scenario is a great option for XP, but I find its return on investment of time not as worthwhile at the level 80 plus. It can be great for those 50 to 70 classes, but the 25-45 minute commitment plus queues, especially if you're a DPS, can be a pain. Doing roulettes as an adventure in need can net you even more XP in gil as well, so keep an eye out for that. I like to level several classes at the same time so I can hop around to what is in need at any given point. So picking back up on PvP, because I feel that leads quite nicely onto this, please don't sleep on this. It guarantees you 249,000 XP regardless of win or lose. They are relatively quick and you could theoretically just spend the whole time dead and still get the reward. This is even better for lower classes, but the 250,000 XP even at level 80 to 90 is still a nice boost once per day. As of today, the level 81 to level 89 dungeons got a buff on the XP gained in 6.01. This nice buff meant that the dungeons are a very nice way to level and you can do them 2 to 3 times per level. I find it averages out doing them around 5 times will get you to the next dungeon. So, 5 lots of the Tower of Zot will get you to the Tower of Babel at level 83, and then you can do that 5 times and you should get to Vanaspati around that point. You'll kind of just build up doing 5 of these at a time to get to the next step. This can be great especially if you're a healer or a tank, as your queue times will be much lower and you can jump straight in. DPS, your queues will be longer and you could use the trust system if you want, or see if there's anyone else you can party up with and do it together for quicker queues. Usually for trusts, I find adding 10 minutes onto the dungeon time gives you a rough idea of how long it'll take, but if you're waiting 10 minutes for a queue anyway, it may not be the worst idea. From Old Charlayan, you can go to the hunts board and pick up your daily hunts. These reset every day at 3 PM GMT, just like the roulettes, and these are super quick to get, maybe 30 minutes to complete all 3 of them. You can use a website like Final Fantasy XIV Hunt.com if you want to make it a bit easier and show you the locations and optimize paths and all that kind of stuff. This can make it much quicker for you as well. I tend to like doing the hunts while waiting in those DPS queues that I mentioned previously. Each completion gets you around 210,000 XP per monster page completed. That means each hunt page, there are 3, have around 1 million XP each, and that means 3 million XP per day just from doing your hunts. Don't sleep on these. You can also accumulate nuts at the same time, which you can use to buy mounts, materials, and much more from the hunt masters next to the hunt boards in Old Charlayan or the Crystarium. Similar to hunts, another thing I do in DPS queues or for a bit of a break from dungeons are fate farms. Fates in Endwalker Zone net you around 230k XP per fate completed. These can be very quick and you can chain these quite quickly one after another. Picking up any forlorn maidens you see at the same time can boost this XP to around 350k XP sometimes too. You can also work towards your fate completions in each zone, where you need 60 of each to unlock the gemstone trader in Old Charlayan, where you can then work towards mounts, materials, unlocks, etc. with those bi-color gems you accumulate. This is very much a 2 birds in 1, as the XP is nice, but you also make progress elsewhere in the game. Very worthwhile to do from time to time. Now, I'm by far the last person to tell you to do your beast tribes. In fact, I haven't even picked many of them up at all myself. However, Mheg beast tribe, the pixies, are incredible for XP. You can pick up really quick quests that give you around 300k XP as a level 80 plus character, and these are great for those level 71 plus characters too. The XP caps for level 80 and above, but it's still around 1 million for every free quest that you do, and they take around 10 minutes. They hardly take any time at all. You can do this every single day. As you level up your reputation with the beast tribe, you unlock extra quests and you can take more of those and you get new variations as well. I try and ensure I do this each time I log on, as it's literally the quickest XP in the game in my opinion. More of a weekly thing now rather than daily, make sure you go to Idleshire and pick up your Wondrous Tales from Chloe. She will give you a journal that you need to get 9 stamps by doing various activities. These can be retried using second chance tokens, and even if you get no lines on the journal, kind of like a scratch card, you'll still get half a level of XP for the class you hand the journal back to her with. So just to reiterate there, you can do the entire journal of 9 stamps on one class or many classes, but the class you are using when you hand the journal back, you will be rewarded with half a level of XP. This means for value, the higher the class the better, technically. Please never hand it in on level 90 unless you've already got everything maxed out for you as well. You're literally just throwing XP away. The 1, 2, 3 lines are nice to get some extra bonuses, but they're kind of separate from what we're talking about today. There's no extra XP rewards or anything like that for getting the lines, and you can let it naturally fill as you do your roulettes and kind of naturally cross stuff off, or you can quickly farm it in unsynced level 50 extremes. There's usually 1 or 2 at least that you can kind of choose from. Use a level 90 character and you can normally smash those out in 30 seconds to a minute, depending on the boss's invincibility buffs that it gets at certain points of those fights. Either way, bear in mind it expires. There are 2-week deadlines and you can pick up 1 per week, but only hold 1 at a time. Do not miss out on these. And finally, we have Bozja content. Now this is in 2 areas, both the Southern Front and Zadna. Both give similar XP, around 230k XP per fate, and around 500 to 600k XP in critical engagements. But Zadna gives you more metal from what I can see, which you can use for progress, upgrades, resistant ranks, and so on. If you're new to Bozja, you got to start in the Southern Front anyway. Bozja is notorious for being great at leveling classes from level 71, and although the XP is capped to level 80, this is still an incredible amount of XP you can quickly amass until I'd say around level 84 or level 85. At that point, I'd swap over to Vanaspati and spam those dungeons as I mentioned earlier in the level 85 dungeon. This is because the cost benefit starts to swap to the dungeon focus at this point rather than in Bozja. The other word of warning is that even swapping between both zones, personally I find Bozja is a bit of a slog. You can use it for a few classes, but you'll find especially going from 71 to 84 or 85 over and over again that it'll suck a lot of the fun out for you, even if it's statistically quicker. I know some people will find the same thing just doing the dungeons over and over again, which is why I've tried to, in this video, put together as many different options you can do, so you can kind of mix and match, kind of like a experience buffet as you were. Now, if you have stuff to do in Bozja anyway, well, that's your idea of chill with a playlist on, you can join a group in there and just farm for a few hours here and there, you'll just make great progress. On the subject of groups, it's highly advantageous to use Alt plus H as your shortcut to change to shout chat and type LFG into that. It's really important that you can join up as a party. Party damage is what the fates consider as completed contributions, and if you're on your own and everyone else is in a party, you risk not having the highest completion award and getting like a silver or a bronze, and that just means your XP is lower, your metal is lower, and just generally it makes the whole process slower. Grab some friends or ask when you're inside to join a party and start grinding those fates. So this next one is the challenge log. So this resets every week. The class that completes the challenge gets the XP. So if you're doing this on like a lower level character, your XP will be lower. Whereas if you then are completing this on a 80 to 89 character, the XP reward will be higher. And basically by using that logic, if you are tactically choosing the right classes, then you can get 788,000 XP for completing the 3rd dungeon on a duty roulette as a level 80 plus character. Completing 5 dungeons will net you 500,000. Your guild tests alone aren't actually worth a lot, but every 3rd and 10th guild test, so the 3rd and 10th guild test that you do each week, do that on your level 80 to 90 character, and you'll get 260,000 for doing the 3rd one and 525,000 for doing the 10th. Again, dishing out the 5th commend on your 80 to 89 character will get you 500,000 of XP. And this also applies to fates as well. Doing the 5th fate and the 10th fate will get you 788,000 each time. It's something where if you're doing your dungeons and your fates with your level 80 to 89 character anyway, then you're going to pick these up by doing the other methods that I've talked to you about in this video already. So yeah, make sure that you're checking off as much as possible with the challenge log, because it's just bonus free XP that you're probably going to pick up anyway along the way. Final thing I want to say is to ensure you have buffs on at all times. Food gives you 3% XP buff and that adds up. Make sure you have oranges or orange juice active at all time when leveling. Even boiled eggs and stuff, they don't have to be super expensive. Just hover over the item and see if it gives you the 3% food buff. If you're in a free company, make sure Heat of the Battle is active. There are also similar actions that you can get from your squadrons if you're not part of a free company. These will give you a 10% XP buff. Please note, neither of these work in Bozja content though, so just bear that in mind. I haven't mentioned the deep dungeons such as Palace of the Dead or Heaven on High. These are great lower levels for XP, but they cap, and their time input compared to XP received is not as great, but still work if you want to switch it up a little bit. Again, I will focus more on these in a level 1 to 80 guide, but I don't find they're really relevant from level 80 to 90 in this video. Basically, there are lots of different things you can do, maybe even a few things I've potentially not put on here. These are some great ways to get a lot of XP quickly to level from level 80 to 90. If you want to do the least Bozja as possible, I at least recommend doing Bozja for level 80 to 81, and then you can just spam your dungeons and mix in some fates and some hunt logs in between all of that, and you'll be a level 90 in no time. And just to mention as well, this is primarily for your second class and onwards. Your first class should have been leveled from 80 to 90. Just by doing the Endwalker MSQ alone, you can pretty much get to 90 with little to no side content just by following the story quests. So this is purely for your second class that you have got at level 80 and you want to get that up to 90 and all your subsequent classes after that. Anyway, that's all from me today. Remember to hit that subscribe button and drop a like. Really helps me out and appreciate you watching. Let me know in the comments what else you'd like to see around Final Fantasy XIV, and remember to come catch me while live over on Twitch. Links will be in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.